Before we get started in this episode, I just want to say that there's definitely been some power issues for this issue and a couple that are upcoming, and I hope you guys just bear with us. I get them sorted out in about 3 episodes. So, but this Rivals episode, which you guys are about to listen to, is kind of a disaster. So please bear with me and note that it does get better. Segueing like a two-ton cow. Anyways,
That makes some sense to nobody but us now.
I recorded all that. It's fine.
Oh, good.
So, this is Star Trek Europa, and we've been off for a couple of weeks, in part because we knew we were going to be off for 1 week, and we were off for another week because the world went to a giant explosion here, and we all lost a whole lot of power. Well, by all of us, I mean me and Evelyn. Evelyn got her power back, though, sometime in the last, I don't know, day and a half or so.
Something like that. Like Tuesday night.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
It was a long time without power for some people around here. It was bad. The shop is now open, which I'm happy about, which means that things should be able to get back to somewhat resembling normal for me.
I spent money in the shop, and so should all of you.
That's right. We're working on the online thing. That'll happen when we get the online thing going.
Do it.
In the meantime, I'm your host of the show, Jeff Harvey, and this is the crew of the Star Trek Europa as currently is here. Brian, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Brian. I'm playing Captain Jorad Hage, and I have nothing to plug.
Evelyn.
I am Evelyn Corbett. I'm playing Dr. Desafio Nayat. I'm promoting myself, apparently.
Happens a lot during the intros.
Right. It's a game in general. That is all I got going on.
We're very fluid on rank here. It's more of a commune than an actual hire.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Whoever happens to
People are always getting
pick up the
promoted and
captain's badge
demoted.
first.
Yeah.
I think Hage has been demoted at least twice, and Ambrose has been promoted at least once.
Yeah.
So. And speaking of which, Jack, go ahead and yourself.
Yes, hello. I am Jack. I am playing Commander Arani Ambrose. At least
rank.
for now. Actual rank. Yes, that is my actual rank. I know what I'm doing.
I almost put lieutenant on the letter, just saying.
Sure. But when I am not here, I am usually over on my own channel, twitch.tv/The People's Ascension, where I do various other hangout sort of things, let's plays and whatnot. But the big draw is my Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition actual play campaign series, which is super fun. We're most of the way through. We're coming up at the culmination of a really interesting dungeon and a really interesting chapter arc. So, all of that is available on my YouTube channel as well, under the same name, so you can catch up on all of that there. But I'm ready to play some Star Trek tonight because it's been too long.
Right on.
All right. So we're going to start our scene tonight with our first scene, anyways, with the Savi. No, we were going to do
with the captain.
With the
captain's going to have a log.
Captain's log. So go ahead and do your captain's log, sir, and I'm going to finish trying to get some of these ship things up.
Okay. So the Europa is flying through space, and Jorad's voice comes up saying, Stardate 185946.3. We're less than a day out of what was the name of the system?
Which one were you guys in last? That was the. I have to find my notes.
The Dionysian.
Yes,
the Dionysian system.
Yes, we're 1 day out of the Dionysian system. Despite my crew's most admirable efforts, the rogue Klingon ship, the Wrath, escaped some Iconian ruins, carrying some sort of mutagenic disease on board. After finding out some about their mad experiments, I am determined to put a stop to this mad science once and for all, and end this terrifying threat of death and disease.
All right. And we'll pick up with Dasavi and Ambrose in main sickbay, discussing some of the symptoms and things that happened earlier.
Before we get into that,
shit. Go ahead. Sorry,
That bodes well.
nothing on your guys' fault. It's totally my fault. I'm going to lose internet. At some
No,
point
Evelyn,
soon.
no.
No, none of that. You cannot make sure you did quarantine procedures. No quarantine. I wanted to make sure that we were good with just stating like Dasavi made sure we were following proper quarantine procedures when people planet side and ship side came back and yada yada, and we don't have a plague running rampant through our own ship now.
Yeah, we had discussed that prior when you guys captured the Klingons anyways. So.
Right. Okay. Perfect. All right. So we are in the sick bay. Correct.
Point of order on that, though. Did we find a cure for that problem?
Not
yet.
Because there's some very important characters that were potentially exposed there.
Right. That's what I was kind of talking about with the quarantine, because we have everybody planet side and everybody who was on the Klingon ship. We either need to have them being quarantined, or
at least screened, because I know Ambrose, Mills, and Koba at the very least, and Cherka, all were potentially exposed. And I know we ended last episode, I believe, in the war room or the prep room or whatever we're calling it.
Yeah.
So either Ambrose is fine or he's not in quarantine.
No, transporter screenings, everybody came back clean. So
okay, cool.
Good.
Yeah, I thought it was something about the Delphin physiology that made it particularly susceptible to that. But maybe
you guys haven't gotten that far in the discussion.
No.
So. There was something about the Delphi. Some of the Delphins, not Delphians.
Dionysians.
Yeah.
Some of them were immune to it.
Because of their higher percentage of Iconian DNA.
Right.
But the ones that weren't, the ones that the virus was not overwriting their DNA, it was just straight killing them.
Yeah.
But were there non-Dionysian people infected?
Not on that planet. There were not.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So we don't know if it's species specific yet.
Right.
Gotcha. Cool. All right.
Anyways.
Now that's sorted. All right. Hold still. Take a deep breath in. Cracks your nose back into place.
Yep.
Hands you a tissue.
Never gets old.
I will take your word for it.
Well, at least it's a simple fix with proper medical facilities.
Right.
I had to do it myself twice on that asteroid. Yeah, you see my handiwork right here?
Yeah.
I'm sure you could correct it, but it's kind of a memento.
I've offered and you've laughed at me and said you've earned every one of your scars.
Yeah. Jem'Hadar foreheads aren't nearly as convex as Klingons.
No, kind of the opposite.
Little more equal footing there. Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of Klingons, what are we doing?
What is who doing?
It's a question.
Yeah.
No.
Don't interrupt our role playing.
It was a weirdly toned question. It sounded like you were asking me.
No. Jack was with me.
Yes. Well, the captain does seem pretty adamant on going after the Wrath. Can't say I blame him.
I don't blame him, but it's not the best decision at the moment. We are not a warship.
No, we're
The
not.
Europa's well kitted, but
We're a science ship wearing boxing gloves. That's about it.
precisely.
I've
He
tried to
doesn't
make that
seem
point
to-
clear. He's pretty fond of this little ship.
Mhm.
Can't say I blame him on that either. It's proven it can hit above its weight class, surely.
Indeed. I can't help but feel that if Cass were here, she might be able to talk some sense into him. She's more fond of the ships than he is.
He listened to her better.
I think he would. I think he's too comfortable with me, and as odd as it sounds, it was easier when the two of you were going head to head.
I don't know if I would say easier, but at least we knew which side we were
Safer.
on.
Well, yes.
When we start agreeing on things is when I think I most need to reevaluate the situation.
You two work well to balance each other out, and with him swinging over to your side of things, I don't know who we have to serve as counterweight.
Right. I'm never going to get used to this multiple personality, memory, lifetime things.
The Trill are an interesting people.
I don't know how
It
they
is-
function.
It is strange sometimes. On occasion, it is almost like you're talking to a whole different person.
I know I have trouble getting stuck in the past, but I know my past was 5, 10 years ago, not 100.
Lifetimes. Right. I worry he's not thinking rationally, but I don't know that he's so irrational that I could justify stepping in.
No,
Not that I would really want to. That really should be a last resort. But
we're not even there yet. It's
No.
not even appropriate to be discussing that possibility. Focus on your work with the virus. I figured we were going to have to do the majority of that work in transit somewhere else anyway.
certainly,
we were
that I
here
was
to
prepared for.
relieve the efforts on the planet, not to act as a second permanent medical installation.
Right. I just also didn't figure I'd be prepping the med bay to serve as triage.
That's what it's here for, Doctor.
Yes. But again, we're not a warship. I can run an army hospital, or a Starfleet hospital, whatever. I can run a science ship, well, science hospital. Running both simultaneously will be a new experience. And we don't really have the hands for it.
You have some capable nurses,
I do.
and you do have the EMH.
I do.
I've been told he's an incredible resource if difficult to work with. Utilize him if you need to.
He's an incredible ego and far too snarky.
Hopefully we won't need his services too frequently. But if you need an extra hand,
I will.
perhaps we can get Tong on
reprogramming his personality.
reprogramming some of the rough edges.
I'm not opposed to that.
In the meantime, I'll do my job. It's my job to act as a counterweight to the captain, whether he likes it or not.
I wish you luck. He's pretty set on pursuing the Wrath. I think we should still wait for backup, but to a point, I understand his concern that the longer we wait, the further they get away. The more opportunity they have to pull in their own recruits.
It's very true, but with a cloaked ship, once it's gone to warp, it's incredibly difficult to track. He wants to chase after it, and we may very well try. We may also very well be warping at warp 9 in a random direction.
Being led into a trap.
In worst case scenario. At the very least, wasting time.
Right. Well,
we'll see.
The best of the time we have.
I doubt he would be against reporting in. We'll get word out. So. We'll get those reinforcements and we'll coordinate. We just might be a little bit more of a vanguard than the ship is
meant for.
Normally tasked for, yes.
No, and he had said as much in the debrief that he would pull in the nearby ships, but didn't really want to wait.
It's not a lot of us out here either.
Time. Right. Like I said, I understand. I understand why he doesn't want to delay, but as you said, chasing after a cloaked ship in warp, we may as well have thrown a gear out the hatch and chased after that.
Well, if there's one thing this little sign ship is good at, and its crew is good at, is
surprising us.
Well, I was going to say navigation and sensor telemetry, but yes, that too.
Now, the science team has done a very impressive job of modifying the already quite advanced sensor tech on the ship. They are definitely to be commended. If there's nothing else, Commander, I have a sick bay to divide in half and delegate.
All right.
With your permission, I'd like to pull some of the science staff to work on this research.
I think that would be appropriate.
Thank you, sir.
Lieutenant Commander, carry on.
Time for entry. All right. Oh, God. Feel terrible. Anyway, with that, does anyone have a scene they want to do immediately? Or do we want to, when last we left, some of the things that were going on where you had captured some Klingons. No one has yet talked to any of the Klingons. The IKS Wrath had gotten away. It was off. You don't know where it has gone at the moment. So I don't know where you guys are headed, but if you guys want to have a
Neither
scene,
do we.
I think the main thing is we're engaging in a search pattern.
yes. Where are you starting? Is the question. Like, are you just going like
It's hard to
out
say without a map.
into the
Yeah.
like out into the wilds, or are you or are you like staying in the local area of the Dionysian system, or are you going out? Is really, I guess, what I'm asking.
Whatever is most efficient to search for a cloaked vessel. I mean, I don't know the ship tactics of doing that. So,
Right.
We know they warped away.
Yes.
Yeah. The with all the advanced sensors and everything else, you would have been able to put that together, even if you hadn't done it last session. Sometime between now and last session, yes.
It does
Yeah.
make sense that they would try and retake the Iconian thing. That seemed pretty important to their plans. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'd stay close and move in like an outward pattern. You know, eliminate.
Right, just a standard search pattern, but you're going to be in the Dionysian system. That's what I need to know. Like, you're going to be in the general area that you have been in, so you're near the planet. You're still dealing with that stuff.
Yeah.
And then you guys can have conversation with the Klingons if you want to. But we can also still have some stuff going on the planet if need be.
Yeah, and then we are also, as they said, we are going to report this to Starfleet. Not that we don't need to do a scene or anything.
Yeah, no, I assume that Starfleet has been informed.
Uh-huh. And I do want to take a moment just to talk. Are we all on the same page that like the Europa is capable of this kind of thing? I feel like I'm the only one on that page.
Kind of, but not really. I mean, she's decently kitted out for combat, but she's not a combat ship. She's primarily a science ship with some fancy weapons.
Well, all Starfleet ships are multi-role.
Sure.
So, like, the Europa would.
It's a pretty capable ship for what you guys have done so far. Like, you guys haven't taken a whole lot of damage or anything. It's been pretty capable so far.
We're not taking on a board cube one-on-one, but
No.
like I think we're capable of hunting down a Klingon ship. I don't see that as outside of.
It's not Norberth or a Miranda.
Yeah.
Right.
A Miranda in modern times. I will say that.
It's
Since I don't wanna
less
make Jack too
the.
Even Miranda's bad names. They can be
I love the
retrofitted
Miranda,
to be just as strong as any modern day ship.
Right. Yeah, the context you guys should have of the Europa essentially is that it is a fairly advanced, it's not a ship of the line, but it is a fairly advanced and powerful modern ship. But it is still, again, it's not the Enterprise D or start carrying around like a cat and just.
I mean, if we're talking meta knowledge here, I have no idea how this ship compares to any other ship. Like we saw in our first ship combat, I was ready to take on two much larger ships. And Ambrose's big mindset is this is not a combat ship. He has served on combat ship, and most importantly, we do not have soldiers on this ship. We have scientists, and we have a small bridge crew. Right now, mostly of lower ranked officers that are capable but inexperienced. He thinks it's possible that we can pull this off, but it's really not ideal, and we don't need to be getting ahead of ourselves. Also, we have no information about this new ship. We have absolutely no information on it, so we can't make an informed decision as to whether the Europa is in any way capable of taking it on. And it did hit pretty hard last episode, right?
Comparatively speaking,
in kind of the same spot. And adding to that, we don't know that we are just following the Wrath, or that we might pop out of warp to face the Wrath and three other equitable ships.
Okay, well, maybe this is a conversation we should have in character.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's a conversation for in-game.
I think we had a lot of this conversation 3 weeks
comparatively
ago, but
We
Right.
did, but that was also 3
lost
weeks
most
ago.
of it. Yeah.
I will say that comparatively speaking, what you guys should know about the ship as your characters is that it is in a lot of ways more specialized in science and weaponry than, say, like an Intrepid would be. It is a more powerful ship than an Intrepid. So if you've seen it in Voyager,
Okay.
you know, it is a more advanced ship than the Intrepid, and it's better weapons and better science than that.
I actually think the
Good to know.
Galaxy. I actually think the Galaxy is a good point because the Galaxy wasn't explored first, but I mean I think we're in the same kind of role as that.
Yeah, same role, but it's not nearly as powerful as a Galaxy. Like it's up there,
It's
but it's
not
not
as-
nearly as powerful.
It's not as big, but
No.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, better than an Intrepid, not as good as a Galaxy. That's what I would go with it.
And Ambrose's headspace is more on the crew than necessarily
Yes.
the hardware.
Yeah, and crew-wise, yes, it is a light, experienced crew of younger officers, and
Sure.
not many of them because it's largely augmented by a artificial intelligence.
A very young artificial intelligence.
Yes.
then maybe that would be a good scene of
Sure.
him bringing that to Captain Hage.
We can start wherever you guys want. Like I said, you guys have Klingons to interrogate. You've got that conversation you can have. We can do some stuff with Tong if I don't have one with Tong at the moment.
You know
There's,
what?
Go ahead.
Before we get on to anything that's going to progress the plot any further, we did have that conversation just before starting of Mills bringing a casualty condolence letter to him, and then Ambrose was actually going to he wrote his own and was going to present them to the captain, so we could just have like a chain of condolences eventually leading to a conversation between Ambrose and Hage in which we can also discuss all of this stuff.
Sure.
Hage technically has his own letter to write for
We lost a lot of people.
the other, because we lost one
lot.
of the Peregrines too.
Yeah.
I mean, he would definitely do that, but
Yeah,
I don't
no, I
know.
All right. Well, what do you want to do?
I think the interrogation sounds like a good scene. But
Right.
if you want to do that before the plot starts off, maybe it'd be best if we do that now.
Yeah, I think that would make sense, both so we don't lose it and for flow of story, because I think trying to get into the meat of the story and then coming back is going to feel weird.
Sure.
Right.
Then by all means, go ahead.
So we can start with Mills coming to Ambrose's office. Hit the door buzzer.
Come.
Sir, I have the letters for Ensigns Jordan and Daniels. The two that we lost on my mission. Hold out her pad. I felt it was my responsibility as the leader of that mission to write the letters, but I also thought as the XO that you might want to add your piece and send the final letters yourself.
I understand that. I appreciate you taking the initiative to write these. It's usually something that has to be assigned. Nobody enjoys writing
Well,
condolence letters.
won't say I enjoyed it, but
Poor choice of words.
I know what you mean.
In the future, though, I appreciate the draft, but these are your words. They deserve your name. Yeah, taps on it a bit, beep, beep, boop, beep, 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 boop, 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 and signs it, Lieutenant Junior Grade Fiona Mills. Turns it over to her. I'll add a preface to know it's coming from the top. Or, well, I'll hand it off to Hage to see if he wants to put anything in there as well, but it's the XO. This usually falls on me. comes with command. I know you're new to command in the limited capacity that you are in it now. But if you're in command of that mission, you're in command of their lives. You're in command of their lives. You're in command of their deaths. And that's your name.
You get a sense of just heaviness. There's a lot more in it. You can definitely feel some guilt, but mostly just she feels heavy.
He's going to walk over to the to a food replicator. 2 ginger teas, hot. We'll just sort of leave one on the other side of the desk for her.
I felt like a permission to speak freely, sir. Stops herself and
Go on.
she relaxes a little and sits down. I felt like a coward, but at the same time, I feel like I should have pulled us out sooner than I did. We were clearly outmatched.
That was a big mission to be sent on with very little to no notice. I wish I was here to go on that mission instead of you. That was not a position I had intended to be your first real away team command. Your team was not It was a tactically sound decision to send your team in. It was also a very tactically uncertain, dubious position to be put in. That is a key part of command. Like I said, you're in command of their lives, you're in command of their deaths, and sometimes, every time you send somebody out, you know there's a possibility that they're not coming back. Sometimes, you know, the odds are less in your favor than others. You still have to make that decision. Hage made that call. I won't get into that. He made the right call at the right time. He made the call he had to. He made the call I would have. And eventually, perhaps, you may be called on to make similar calls. And was your call to pull out when you had to pull out? You were sent on a mission that had, in my opinion, he pauses there. You were sent on a difficult mission. Failing to complete your objective in general, not just in this case, is not a failure on your part as a commanding officer. Not every mission is going to go the way you planned. Few do. Not every mission is going to end in success. But you did your job. You brought back most of those you took with you. And remind me, did she capture someone too?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
It was basically go in, try to blow
No,
up
because
the
she
cloak,
was
that
holding
failed, and then
Koba's
left.
innards in while we
Right,
were
she
being
saved Koba.
transported
Yeah,
out.
Yeah, okay. The casualties could have been a lot higher. I heard in some cases you literally held the team together.
Don't tell Koba.
You held as long as you could. Sometimes, believe me, you have to hold. You have to hold. This was not one of those times. You had a planned extraction and you took it when you needed to. There's nothing cowardly about that. So he pauses there and really furrows his brow. And this is a healthy response. And this, holding up the pads, it's a healthy way to deal with it. You did good. I have my own. Lieutenant, junior grade, and a commander. Just shakes the two pads. That's what Starfleet is, chain of command. Is there anything else, Lieutenant?
No, sir.
Think it over, get some sleep, see a counselor if you have to. You know what? No. See a counselor, that's an order.
Yes, sir.
There's no shame in that.
Thank you, sir.
I know. Dismissed.
She takes her bag and goes.
So he'll transfer those condolence letters onto his own pad, write a little preface note. Basically just deepest condolences from the office of the executive officer. Forwarding message from the commander of the away mission, who has his complete confidence. He extends his own condolences and sort of just forwards Mills's letter, and then he has his own, and he's going to go and
take those to Hage.
Yeah, go take those up to the captain, probably in the ready room, I would assume.
Yeah, he'll add his own things and pass them to Starfleet Command. I'm sure they have a protocol for that kind of thing.
We lost how many in total?
5.
I had 2, she had 2, and then one from
the Peregrines.
Yeah. 5 out of our crew
140.
of... We have 140? I thought it was less than
Was it?
that. Okay.
I thought it was about 140.
Do not recall.
Yeah,
I'll look it up in a second.
138. 32 officers, 126 enlisted. For some reason, I thought we were down in the 80s.
Oh.
Okay, that's not nearly as bad. All right.
It's still pretty bad.
It's still pretty bad.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were you gonna do anything in that scene, or did you just want to play it off and not play it, but just have it off screen?
Which scene?
Him giving you the things. I thought this was leading towards a scene where you and Ambrose were going to have a conversation.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
So, all right. So in the captain's ready room.
Yeah. He is. I think he's helping. I think he's helping coordinate the search. Overseeing the officers. I think as soon as Ambrose comes in, he's going to say, Arani, I have an idea. I think we should retask all of the science teams to each work on the problem. The teams that don't normally work on this kind of thing, let's get everybody on it. The more novel ways we have to think about searching for this ship, the better. We'll award holodeck time to the BERT if anybody's able to get a breakthrough on this.
I'll walk up and just sort of place the data pads down. I think we have several problems, this ship being one of them. I agree we should task some of our science teams to that.
I want all of them. Everything else is second priority. You never know. Maybe a microbiologist has a good idea, and I want them all thinking about it.
Microbiologists have a plague to look into.
That's my point. I want them all on this project.
The overall problem, not simply finding a lost ship.
Right, but I don't want anybody on their pet projects.
Sure,
right now.
We're on the same page. I agree.
Yeah.
All right. No, we'll reallocate resources, get a navigation astrometrics,
Good.
doing a deep scan. We'll get anybody with biology, chemistry knowledge into the doctor's hands. We can even have some of our engineers do some work on increasing our scanners, augmenting them, analyzing.
Maybe the geologists will be able to find some metallurgy. I don't know.
Perhaps.
Are these the letters to the families?
Yes.
He'll take a quick look through it, scanning them. He'll ask, did you meet any of these officers?
I've met all of them at one point in time. I've met with everybody on this ship at one point in time. The two under my command, down on my away mission, of course. I am, of course, familiar with the security officers that Mills took.
I mean, outside of duty.
Here and there, when I have time.
It's such a loss that we are so busy working that we don't get to know what great people we have here on this ship.
It's a luxury I am not used to having.
After this is all done, we need to find some time for some R&R. And I didn't meet any of these officers. I wish I had, but the next time that something like this happens, I want to be able to say, I want to be able to write the families and say that I knew how special that person was.
It's commendable. Let's hope that the stack doesn't get any higher.
Agreed. But
we have a fairly small ship. I wouldn't doubt that it's easily possible to get to know all of our crewmen. But if this situation gets any worse and we're brought into full-out war,
I've sent word to our detachment. I want them back on the ship if the station can at all spare them. So I'm hoping we'll get them back soon.
very good. We should also make sure that we can secure the Iconian base unless we want to simply destroy it.
Well,
And we should get a semi-permanent presence out here.
as long as the Denmarians are, I agree. But this is their planet. We're guests here. Let's keep that in mind.
Dionysians. Just as an update. Yep. No problem. I only know it because it's directly in front of me.
But you're right. Go ahead.
Judging by the state of that Iconian base and the remote location of it, I doubt they even know of it. It might be a little underhanded to swoop in and either secure the facility for ourselves or destroy it, but that is a high-ranking Starfleet protocol. Iconian technology cannot be allowed to fall into anyone else's hands.
Can't be allowed to fall into certain people's hands, but it's their planet, not ours. The Prime Directive makes it very clear. We can't interfere. If they don't want us there, we have to leave.
Well, I would suggest we broach that topic before we leave, then.
I agree. Maybe we should arrange a diplomatic mission. But hopefully it won't even be necessary. If they know how serious the situation is, they might be grateful for our assistance.
Well, I'm sure we have some time before we pick up any leads on the Wrath. I would advise that we get in contact with the Admiral back at Narendra, and possibly, if possible, with Chancellor Martok.
Yeah, I don't think that he'll be any happier about this than I do. Klingons using disease. It's not something I would expect in this day and age.
Dishonorable.
Exactly.
Captain, say we find some lead on the Wrath. What is your intent?
Ideally, we'll capture the doctor to get an antidote or a vaccine or whatever we can get from her. Yeah, if that's not possible, then we should destroy the Wrath.
So your position is we find a lead and we go to maximum warp in pursuit.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll be flying around this system for a while trying to pick up that lead. Have you contacted Starfleet?
That's next on my list. Yes.
I would caution, we don't know anything about this ship. They're Klingons. They are all warriors. They are all soldiers. Even the doctor, she proved that in this last encounter.
Right.
And we know nothing about the hardware on that ship. We got a nice ship here. I know it can handle above its intended role. But we have a real green crew, Captain. We also saw that in this last conflict. They did well. We held together. I have no complaints about anybody. But we have a small crew of young, low-ranking officers. And a weapon is only as good as the person wielding it. And we are just one ship.
Commander, just one ship is all that there's been. Just one ship is not an insignificant thing. We're the Europa. You're right. We're undercrewed. I won't deny that, but we do have Eva to help make up for that. I want your security team. They may be green, but I know you, and I know you've been trained, and they're not capable of fighting a board cube on their own, but I do think that they are capable of dealing with a few mangy Klingons. And if you don't think they're capable of them, I want you to make them capable of it.
They'll be ready for any situation you decide to throw them in, sir.
Excellent.
I would also caution against underestimating, especially these Klingons.
I'm not underestimating anybody, but you're right that we're just one ship, but one ship is often all that's needed. And I believe in this crew.
If used appropriately.
Agreed. So let's make the most with our time until we find it, to make sure that when we do find it, we're ready.
Mangy.
Yes, sir. I'll work on my security team, and I'll keep an ongoing tactical assessment coming your way.
Excellent. And offer that holodeck time when the crisis is passed, of course.
I'm not sure pandering to our people to do their jobs sets the appropriate precedent.
You weren't in Starfleet is a military. It tries to not be sometimes, sure. But when it gets right down to it, it's men or soldiers. And in my experience, soldiers fight better with motivation. If a little holodeck time or a few extra rations is enough to spur on a little extra effort, then I would gladly make that. I will gladly give them that incentive.
I hope I'm not going beyond the bounds of my duty here, sir, but you're acting differently recently.
I'm trying to get in a different frame of mind. It's hard to explain. But
In the past, you've tried to make it very clear to me that this is not a ship of soldiers. I find it strange that now you are referring to our entire crew as a ship of soldiers. And I am in the reverse position to tell you that they are not soldiers. My security team is a damn good security team, but only some of them are actual soldiers. And there's 100 more officers and general enlisted that likely have not picked up a phaser since particle weaponry 101.
He thinks about that a moment, and he says, then perhaps it's good time for us to make sure they pick those phasers up.
Well, you know what? I've been working on those drills for a while now.
Good.
I'm making them competent, capable of defending the ship.
Good. I don't want them just capable of defense. I want them to be able to offense again. If we get an opportunity, I want them to be able to strike like that. Can you see to that?
I'll see to that to the best of my ability.
Good. I know you will.
Captain, you made a suggestion to me, a very pointed suggestion to me very recently, when it was very clear that I was dealing with my own headspace. So I will offer that same suggestion in whatever limited capacity I can. You might want to talk to somebody. Be that me, I doubt I'm the right person. Desabi, an actual counselor. Whoever you want. But you got a lot of people up here. Or here. Or wherever you want to call it. I hope that's not insensitive.
I understand what you mean, Commander.
And I don't want the situation to get blurred.
You're right. You're right. I will see a counselor. I'm glad I have you as my XO.
Yeah, he'll stand up with that and sort of put a hand on your shoulder. I'm glad to be proven the more stubborn man.
He'll shake your hand and he'll say, let's find that ship.
Yes, sir.
That's a good scene. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So what's the next one you guys want to do?
I think the Klingon interrogation is probably the best idea.
All right. Who's going there?
I'm happy to have Koba do it. I don't think we have anybody who has like a focus in interrogation or anything.
I thought we did.
Do we? I don't know we do. No, we do not.
Not according to our crew sheet.
It's probably for the best. Advanced interrogation techniques are not necessarily something Starfleet should be known for.
No.
I know.
Well, but interrogation focus could cover also normal interrogation.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, if you want to have Koba go at this, I would probably have Ambrose, behind the one-way glass.
Right.
But yeah, Koba can definitely go at it.
I would think Silva would be able to use her focus and espionage to kind of reverse engineer some
I love
interrogation tactics.
I love that idea. That's a great call.
Oh, it's so difficult when we have multiple weeks off. Silva. Yes, our shuttle pilot. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I would love to just have Ambrose or Mills come to her and just ask her to help with that. I think that'd be awesome.
So Mills, you want Silva instead of Koba is what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think focus is alone, but I think really personality alone, Silva's probably the better option. Koba's just gonna like ramrod his way and be like, "Tell me what you know."
Yeah.
No, I agree. She's the much better choice. I just also don't think she would be the I think she would be the unexpected choice, which makes her interesting. And so that's why I'd like to play out somebody talking to her about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who do you want
Yeah.
to...
Okay.
You gonna take that, Jack? Go talk to
I
I
Silva.
feel like that makes more sense.
I can take that.
Yeah, Mills wouldn't just go on her own and be
Right.
like, hey, go do this thing that no one told me to tell you to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say that where do you want that scene to take place? I'm thinking lounge maybe.
I think it could take place right outside of the interrogation room, and then we can just go into it.
Sure.
Like, it doesn't have to be a long scene. You know. Commander, why did you ask me to come down here?
I'm interested to know if your particular background has any unique insights that could help us at the moment. Your time in the Maquis and the times that you were imprisoned could be useful here if you're comfortable drawing on that. We have some prisoners that need to be questioned.
Commander, I'm surprised. I think we can. I do just want to be perfectly clear, both on and off the record. What kind of interrogation are you expecting from a former Maquis member?
A Starfleet interrogation.
Right. Yeah.
A little attitude.
That I've got in spades. All right. Yeah.
I can handle this if it's not something you are comfortable doing.
Well, we could good cop, bad cop it with the two of us. It's a tried and true interrogation technique, but it works.
Suppose it is. Which one are you?
I say I go in there and play up the hard-nosed XO. You come in and tell me I need to get results, and then I tell him that I'm desperate to get anything, and then all he has to give me is a little information. And if he can give that to me, hopefully it can get something out of him.
Well, I'm not sure if that's good cop or bad cop, but we'll see.
That'd be me being good cop, you being bad cop. The Klingon will let his guard down around a shuttle pilot. You know what I mean?
I think I do. All right. Let's see what we can do.
So she'll walk in. She'll be carrying like a pad. She'll set it down and she'll say, oh my God, I've got so many of these interrogations to get through. Let's make this quick, shall we? What's your name?
He lays back on the bed a little bit. Oh, Jesus. I had a name here a second ago. Where did it go? Oh, I'm Chariga.
Tariga. Got it. In your position on the ship?
I do not have a position on the ship. I'm a prisoner.
I meant on the ship you were rescued from.
Rescued? Is that the word Starfleet uses?
That's the look. If you were welcome to stay on the ship if you'd really wanted to, but something tells me you might be happier here in the prison cell than as space dust.
You know little of Klingons.
Yeah, I guess I don't. Well, I don't. I'll be honest. I don't normally do this kind of thing. I'm not a security officer. Look, I don't know how much you know about Starfleet, but the red is. I'm a pilot. But we're so short-staffed. We need to get. They had to get me in here, and I'm hoping that we can just move. We can cut this interview short, and I can move on to the next person, and then we can be done. So why don't we make this quick? Does that sound good to you?
He stands up and kind of gets a smile on his face and gets close to the door. And I know what Starfleet is. And if you want to make this quick, lower the shield and I will make it quick.
Well, let's call that Plan B. But for Plan A, why don't you tell me what your position was on your ship?
I prefer Plan B. He goes back and sits back down.
I think she will press a button on the keypad in order to get in order to signal for Ambrose to come in.
All right. Yeah, Ambrose will walk in. Are they just behind a force field in one of the little alcove force field cells?
Yeah, I threw a picture up of one. Yeah, I threw a picture up of one of the room.
Gotcha.
I assume that you're talking to just one at a time. They're not all in the same room. So.
Right.
How many did we get?
4, I think.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. And these are all, as far as we know, fancy augmented Klingons.
Yeah.
Okay. How far can Ambrose push this?
Depends on if you turn off the sensor or not.
Right. Yeah, so Ambrose will walk in, head over to this pad that Silva is working on, and just kind of yank it from her hand and turn it around. Throw it back on the table. You said Chirag was his name?
Chirega?
Chirega?
Mhm.
Chirega.
Spell that.
Chirega.
CH''REGA.
There we go.
That was close.
There's an apostrophe in almost all of their names somewhere.
Yeah.
So.
They're kind of like really angry Vulcans in that way.
Except Worf and
Right.
Martok and
Except the one.
all the ones we see on camera.
And a final meta question. What is Silva's rank? Lieutenant. Okay. Lieutenant, do you have anything useful yet?
I'm trying my best, Commander.
You have his name.
Look, I'm trying to make this as quick as possible. Can we get your rank at least?
I am Beck.
There, see? He's a Beck.
That is not a Klingon distinction that Jack is familiar with. Is that a
I think that's
it's just warrior.
okay? Just general warrior.
Mm-hmm.
That's a start. A grunt. How useful can they be? A failed, captured, dishonored grunt. We're wasting our time here. We should have never even picked them up.
I mean, look, Commander, we can... I know we said we might drop them off somewhere. All we need is a little information. We can get rid of them.
These are not recognized. These Klingons, and I'll look right at Chirac, are not recognized by Starfleet. They are illegitimate. They don't matter to us. They don't matter to me. I spent far too long saving the Federation from the Dominion to put up with this dishonorable Patak. If he's not useful, we can go in there and dismantle him for actual useful information. Do you get that, Chirac? You are full of interesting little tidbits, and I will be happy to rip them from your corpse one by one. You will give us what we need to know. The question is, do you get to go back to whatever fake empire you think you're serving, to perhaps live to reclaim what little honor you might have left in your sorry life?
I take it then you are the first officer. Your reputation precedes you. Low field, and we shall see whose honor it will be intact when we are done dismantling each other. I hear you are a warrior, but I see before me nothing that indicates a worthy opponent.
I reach, in my belt loop. They don't wear belt loops, but I pull. What was his name? Martok's stupid
Morjad.
kid, Morjad. I pull out Morjad's. What was it? Not a dicta. Was it a dicta?
He had Mek'leth.
A Mek'leth. Yeah, I pull out his Mek'leth. I can't really stick it in the force field. That's not how force fields work. I'm gonna
Right.
take it out. I'm gonna just sort of hold it up, and I'm gonna slam it into the table. I had a run-in with, well, actually, I don't know his rank. I would assume it would be fairly high, given his father's status. But somebody of importance, I'm sure.
Sarega spits on the ground. His father. Pah!
How would you say... How would you say, you just said his name, Morjad?
Morjad, yeah.
Mahjong. Morjad.
Someone wanted to disrespect a Klingon, call him by the wrong name.
Yeah. How would you rate Morjad as a warrior?
I have never fought Morjad. He comes from a life of privilege.
I suppose that explains why he was so soft and so cowardly. It's been a while since I've come to blows with a true Klingon. Of course, a true Klingon would not resort to handicapping himself with all the junk you've littered your body with.
I am more Klingon now than any have ever been.
Really? All those Borg parts, Romulan parts, stolen Federation parts. You're no more Klingon
Then you are human.
I mean,
probably
he's
very true.
Taps his eye a little bit.
Commander. He is Klingon enough that he would have he would have died for his friends. I think you're doing him a disservice.
What do you want, Federation? Ask your questions. If it is Morjad you seek, he is not hard to find. If it is death you seek, simply lower the shield, and you will have it. And when I finished killing you, that one will know what pain truly is, pointing to Silva.
Embers is going to walk up to the force field and just lean his hand right above the comm panel and lean into the force field. If I was not in this uniform, if we were not on this ship, I would put you in your place, you little Tark pup.
He slams the actual energy shield and just kind of smiles as his hand is pushing on the energy shield. It's not pushing through or anything, just, those things hurt.
Yeah.
Commander, these interrogations are being recorded. You don't want to get on Starfleet's bad side, do you?
He pulls his hand off. Anytime, Federation.
Let me talk to him, sir. Can I have a moment, please?
We don't have time for this. If you think you can get anything from him, fine. If not, we'll arrange for transportation to more appropriate facilities. And seeing as the Federation position here is so limited at the moment, I do hope that we can ensure his protection during those transitions. We do have 5 more of his friends, as you called them, who may be a little less tight-lipped.
Okay.
It's gonna yank the mek'leth out of the table, put it back.
Are you leaving the room? Or just walking away?
I
mean, either way, he's watching you with a grin and a predatory look on his face.
Yeah.
Walk wherever you're going to go.
They don't really have the one-way glass situation.
Well, I mean, they've got cameras,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. No, I am going to just sort of give him a stare and huff and turn and storm out.
That guy, he is such an asshole.
I imagine his heart will be very tasty. And then looks back to you with the same predatory look.
Well, look. What if I were to leave the gate open? Are you serious that you would go fuck him up?
If you lower this force field, I will kill you and him and anyone else that gets in my way.
Look, let's not be dumb about this. I can leave it open after I'm gone. You can find him, you can get your buddies, and you can get off the ship.
Starfleet would not do that.
I'm not Starfleet. I'm Maquis. Look,
the Maquis were eradicated by the Cardassians and the Dominion.
She'll pull up a sleeve where she's got like a Maquis style tattoo, and she'll say, "No, we just melted into the shadows."
Lower the force field. I will take care of your Ambrose problem.
Okay, I'll get a shuttle ready and we can go. Where should I set course for?
I won't be going anywhere. There's little chance I would be able to survive killing your commanding officer aboard this ship.
Well, then let me get your friends out of it.
We have our orders.
Your orders are to die fruitlessly and get killing the commander? What are your orders?
Kill Federation if necessary.
Yeah, but that can't be the entirety of your goal. What were you trying to do?
What we were trying to do was irrelevant. What we are doing now is all that matters.
What are you trying to do now?
Kill your commander.
Oh, we're back to this again. Okay, listen. I want to help you, pal. But I want to help you, but I need to know what I'm helping.
You want to know what Gothmara's plan is. You want me to tell you what the Klingons goal is to monologue like some sort of villain.
I won't lie, it'd be nice, but I would settle for just being able to know where I can fucking go now that I fucking blew my cover talking to you.
Blew your cover, yes. It is not a complicated plan. Gothmara wants revenge, and she will have it.
Against the Federation?
Against all those who destroyed the Iconians.
That's heavy. Why does she have it so? Why does she have it so bad out for the people who? I mean, she's not Iconian, right?
Her motivations are hers.
Well,
The power of the Empire is all that matters. She will bring power to the Empire with her plan. Or at least that is what Morjad says. And we believe Morjad.
yeah. I mean, he sounds like a pretty smart dude.
And he has brought the Empire back to us.
That's terrific. Do you have any idea how did we are quickly escaping where I am capable as a player of doing this interrogation?
Yeah, it's fine.
Can I
You're doing fine. You're fine. You're fine. You can also roll if you want to. It's fine.
I would like to roll. I'm hoping that I've made myself both equally harmless and like a useful patsy. So I'm hoping to get like some information from him.
Is there any way that my kind of rant I did might help that?
I would take it into account on the roll. Sure. So Silva wants to make a roll to, I assume not just question, but to be able to ingratiate yourself to him to get answers.
Yeah, to get information from him is my ultimate goal.
Right, since that is essentially what espionage would be in this case. That would be the route that you appear to have taken so far with the characters in the roleplay. So,
right.
I'm going to say insight and command would probably be the best roll.
Insight and command. Okay.
Also, the difficulty is since you guys are playing good cop, bad cop, and the roleplay that has happened. Also, the difficulty is difficulty is only going to be 1. There's neither of us have anything to go on anyways. We don't have any threat or the other thing it's called.
The other thing we never have any of them.
Yeah, momentum. That thing.
Momentum.
You're pretty close to getting information anyways. It's just asking the right question now.
Yeah, we're using Fantasy Grounds Unity, right? Now,
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that a web-based program or was that a?
Mm-mm.
No, it was download.
Okay. Oh, I found it. It just doesn't have space in it. Sorry, I'm bringing it up. I should have done this earlier, but I forgot.
No worries. I opened mine earlier and then forgot to do like anything. I'm like, oh yeah, I should claim my character and like maximize this and put it in the right screen.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm bringing it up. Is presence plus command?
I'll take presence if you want to do that one. Yeah. I was going to say insight, but presence would also be fine.
They're both the same. Actually, my security is better than my command, and I think security is what's supposed to be used for interrogations anyway. It also covers like Starfleet intelligence. So
yeah, I can see an argument for it.
all right. Okay. I will generate a threat to give me a roll or to give me a die.
Okay.
One of those hits the focus range. The
Okay.
other are not successful. So
Right.
2 successes. Plus the assist if that applies.
This just was lowering the difficulty. So,
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
let's see. Yeah. Okay. We'll get one momentum. I do not know where Gothmara will go, but I know where she has been. And I know that she seeks to reconstruct a gate. We have nearly all the pieces. Dionysia could have been the last place to get the parts that we needed. I do not know if they succeeded or not. But we are close to creating a gate.
That's some pretty powerful stuff. I don't suppose you'll tell me where.
Where the gate is?
Right.
Oh, I do have that information. The majority of the pieces are still aboard the Wrath, but the gate itself is on Iconia.
Wow. It's a shame we don't know where that is.
Perhaps you do not. It is in Romulan space. Morjad and Gothmara discovered it.
All right, listen. If I get you out, will... No, never mind. I don't know where I'm going with this. Yeah, I think I'd just like to skip to her leaving the interrogation if I've gotten all the information I can get.
Yeah, the only other information you could ask is where they've been so far, because he did say he knew that.
Oh, that's true. Although you said it was different from Iconia.
It is, yeah, he's been to Iconia. Well, he may or may not have been to Iconia, but they've been to Dionysia and anywhere else he may have been, he didn't say. So
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I would love to get that information. I don't know how to ask it in a way that he would tell me, but
we have the worlds that we have found these parts upon are Iconia, Dionysia, and Due.
She says, "Thanks. You've been a big help. I'm going to get this to my people. The Maquis, I mean, we'll see what we can do."
And you'll lower the gate when you leave the room.
Yeah.
He looks at you. He looks at you with a kind of a smile, like,
just tell me you'll kill. Just make sure you kill the commander really painfully for me. That's all I ask.
There would not be an issue.
And so then she'll leave the room, and she obviously will not turn off the gate.
Right. I don't think he thought you would.
Yeah, sorry if that got awkward. But interrogation scenes.
I think it was beautifully awkward. I feel like a little bit of like Brian being, hey, crap, I might be Adam. Like I've hit my limit of knowledge. Just blended beautifully with Silva's like, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing here.
Interrogation scenes in role-playing games are just hard in general.
They are.
Yeah.
I think especially in Star Trek when you really can't.
Right.
You can't use any real application of force or threat if you're really playing true to Starfleet. So yeah. I think that was pretty good.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad. So she'll come out and she'll report to him. She'll quickly lose her meek persona, and she'll say, that was more fun than I thought it would be. Maybe I should put in for Starfleet Intelligence if I'm not already in Starfleet Intelligence. Ooh. And then she'll just walk away, doing this hand signal. hand thing as she turns around and leaves.
I assume you gave her you gave Ambrose a pad with all the appropriate information.
Yeah. Plus it was on the recording, I think.
Right. That's true. Yeah. Bruce is just going to shake his head and walk in the other direction.
It has been 2 weeks, but you guys did have additional information that one of your other characters had. Vren, I think, had additional information. Or could gain additional information because she is who she is. So, I don't know if you remember it or not, but
I don't remember any new information from her, nor do I have any notes about potential information from her.
So the information, I'll just give you the reminder because I know we gained it. And Varen would have it. So it would be the worlds that were known to have, historically speaking, had gone after the Iconians was Dionysia, Due, and Ikobar.
Vren doesn't have that. Dasavi has it.
Oh, Dasavi has that. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Somebody had that information.
That's why it's
Dasavi
not
has
on
it.
my notes.
I wanted to clarify at the end there. He said that the found parts were on Iconia, Dionysia, and Due. Did he mean Ikobar?
Nope.
Okay, so he meant Iconia. Okay.
Yes.
Wanted to make sure.
Wait, could Ikobar be Iconia then?
No, you
No,
guys
they
know
are
where
different.
You know where Ikobar is. Like Ikobar is a known Federation, or known world, known to the Federation.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, that information came from Dr. Chirath when we were talking about the Iconian DNA in the Dionysians.
Right. Vren could also have the information should she need it.
Do we
Should it come up and you want to use her at all? So.
Do we want to have a staff meeting where she can tell us that, and then we can figure out the next plan?
Dasavi has it too, so it's up to you guys what you want to do.
Yeah.
Did you want to do the Mills and Koba scene now, or did you want to do something else?
Which Mills and Koba scene?
I put it in the chat because I didn't want to forget.
Oh.
I'd like to do a scene with Mills and Koba in the holodeck.
Oh, sure.
We can do that now, or we can progress with a little more story and then bring that in as a bit of a break from the heavy stuff, but also keeping on the story.
Do we want to take a quick break before we do the next scene?
If you want to, sure.
That's
we'll take
probably
5
a
minutes.
good choice.
I got to pee, so.
Okay. All right, 5 minutes.
All right.
Now that I've had my cookies, we can return. All right, so Koba and Mills. We're going to have a chat conversation. Where are you going to have that conversation at?
The holodeck, I believe, is what we said.
Yes. Sorry, I was trying to respond. I'm having a private chat conversation with God.
Okay.
About something completely unrelated. Well, mostly
Not completely unrelated.
Completely unrelated to this specific scene.
Okay.
So Mills will come up to Koba. We'll say off duty because it sounds like on duty we're going to have all sorts of tasks assigned. So she'll come find him maybe as we're leaving shift.
Actually, I like the idea that like you go to his quarters, he answers the door and he's wearing a towel.
Okay.
He's like, Mills, good to see you.
No offense, but I kind of wish I was seeing less of you.
You
Star Trek OnlyFans edition. Go ahead.
You humans and your primitive you humans and your primitive notions of modesty. Just a second. And he closes the door, comes back, and he's wearing his uniform.
I was wondering if you would be willing to help me run some scenarios.
Sure. Yeah. What do you need?
I've got the fight on the Wrath programmed into the holodeck. And I want to do some analysis on where we went wrong, where we went right, what we could have done better aside from, bringing an army and guardrails.
He looks apprehensive. He says, "Are you just like going back and forth on it? Does that seem like healthy to you?"
It's fine. I'll be seeing a counselor too. It's perfectly healthy. I'm not going back and forth. I'm doing post-mission analysis.
Well, if you think it'll help, yeah, I'll help.
Thank you. I really expected more enthusiastic, let's beat up some holographic Klingons and less rational analysis from you. Goodness.
I mean, I'm always
getting gut shot sure has changed you.
I'm always happy to
She's gonna laugh.
I'm always happy to beat up Klingons, but like, you're talking about watching holographic representations of our friends dying.
Not not as such.
I like to keep things light, you know?
No, I know. It'll
look, you're my friend.
Come with me. I'll show you, trust me. It's not as bad as you're thinking.
Of course I'll trust you. Let's do it.
We get into the holodeck. And she says, computer, start program Mills 3.24. And we're on the... My brain has stopped. All I can think of is gangplank, and that is not the word I want. We're on the Wrath, on the thingies with no railings. And the Klingons are standing there. They're just standing there, and there are no Federation crew. So it's just the 5 Klingons, was it 6 Klingons? In their positions. Computer, run Klingon number 1 at half speed. And she kind of goes on through that, and she's standing, like, observing the movements and the tactics at low speed, and more like analyzing. So we're not actually rerunning the program live. Does that make more sense?
Yeah. So he'll look around and he'll say, yeah, they apparently the augmented made bigger and faster, but didn't make him smarter. Look at this one standing in the back. He made himself vulnerable.
He really did.
Wish I noticed that at the time.
That one that went over the edge put himself in a terrible position. I think we can use that to our advantage.
I think we can too. Computer, what, based on the sensor readings, what was their, what kinetic energy, I don't know the science term. How strong were their punches? Koba would know the science term, but he'll ask, how strong are their punches? And like, I know you probably.
What was the force behind their?
Yeah, based on that,
hand-to-hand combat.
What is their estimated strength values?
There you go.
Calculating. Approximately 290 psi.
Damn. What must they eat to have that much metabolism going in their bodies that they must eat a whole sheep every meal.
Got to be heavy protein, heavy carbs.
Even with Klingon metabolism, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you wanted particularly out of this scene, Evelyn, or was this kind of the thing you were looking for?
No, it's pretty much
around 3,000 newtons of force. That's the terminology we should actually be using. And I Googled that, and that's slightly higher than a professional boxer would do.
all right.
Fair enough.
So, you know.
No, this is pretty much what I wanted out of it, just to kind of look at kind of how Mills is processing and preparing and get an idea of what we were up against.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Koba will definitely help. So I think I'm okay cutting the scene there unless you have
Yeah,
anything.
that works for me.
On an aside note, don't get punched by a professional boxer. It really sucks.
I bet.
I imagine. Not on my list of things to do.
I never got punched by a professional boxer, but I got hit by an amateur boxer once during a tournament, and I still feel it some days.
No, I've been hit in the face by a professional boxer in a practice setting. So he was pulling his punches, but man, it was not fun.
Yeah. Now up that a little bit, and you know what you're talking about with
Yeah.
a Klingon.
Mm-hmm.
I'll remember that if I ever get famous on YouTube.
Yes. Yeah. Get famous on
Excuse
YouTube
me,
and
are
then
you a
don't get
professional
punched.
boxer? Don't hit me in the face.
Please don't punch me in the face. Hey, Mike Tyson, you're a sissy. Anyways.
You laugh, but that's like the thing they do.
Yeah.
Thing they do.
Yeah.
All right. So, what is the next thing you guys want to handle? We can also, if we get too far ahead of ourselves, we will not be able to finish any combats tonight. But if you guys have anything else you want to do before we get to, if we get to a combat, I don't know if we're going to or not, but depends on what you want to do next.
We should probably just discuss what we're going to be doing. Out of character, maybe we should make sure we're all on the same page. I think we should talk to the Romulans and see if they know where Iconia is.
Well, I think immediately we should have, since we did a post-mission debriefing, but that was 2 weeks ago, and just a post-mission debriefing. So it might be best, as one of you said, to do just another war room meeting where we get all of our information shared and talk about where we're going forward.
Sure.
But I think before we actually pursue anything, that will come down to if Jeff gives us, we find something, I think we should contact the Federation. I mean, most likely through Narendra. And then, if we want to contact the Federation or the Romulans, that would probably come after or through the Federation.
Yeah, I kind of figured the Federation stuff would happen off screen, but Jeff, it's up to you.
Well, you do have a character that you can contact that is a Romulan. She is aboard Narendra Station still, so
Okay.
that's up to you if you want to go down that road and have that conversation. If you just want Starfleet to contact them to see if you can get the Iconian location, I believe the captain and Ambrose would probably understand that red tape is red tape and it takes a long time to cut through.
Yeah.
May not be the fastest way to find Iconia.
Well, I think what Jack's saying is we should report to Starfleet and ask for backup and stuff.
Yes, which I assume you've already done to some extent.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. You cool with that, Jack?
I just kind of figured that would, the Admiral would have something to say. But if the Admiral doesn't have something to say, we can just say that happened off screen and not worry about it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you've reported to Starfleet, and the only thing Starfleet's going to say really is just, keep up the good work, find the Klingons, kill the Klingons, prevent the Klingons from getting the stuff, don't start a war with the Klingons, don't start a war with the Romulans,
Thanks,
that
Admiral.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
But,
Go get them.
I think the next part of that would be we would want to speak with a Romulan officer.
Right. Do you want to have your joint briefing so everyone's on the same page and everyone knows that everyone knows everything?
Yeah.
All right.
But we can have that happen off screen. I don't know if there's anything particularly interesting out of that we haven't already explored.
It's up to you guys.
Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
If we were playing a longer game, I'd say less RP it because it's a lot easier for my brain to recognize information that my characters have when they actually RP it than it is to just say everybody knows everything, because I don't take notes on things that my character is not there for because he doesn't know them until somebody tells it to him.
Yeah.
We have time in this session because we're not going to get to a combat in this session. Even if we get to where we're going to have a combat, I'll roll it. I'll play it out so there isn't a combat this session. So we've got 30, 40 minutes at least. So
Do we want to well, before we do the meeting, maybe we should do like the other parts of what we were going to do while we were like the searching for the cloak ship, which I assume we don't find.
Yeah, you're not going to find it. Nope.
But our characters don't know that, so they're still looking.
Sure.
And then is there any more information to be gained about the disease that we haven't already gained that might be good?
I could have Evelyn make another roll, but it's mostly just, at this point, it's just mechanical stuff.
Yeah, there's the disease. There's any sort of diplomacy we want to do with the Dionysians, if that's a scene we want to actually have.
Right.
And there is Tong's investigation, or all kind of secondary things we could also do.
Yep.
Jeff, is that a scene we'd like to see on screen with the Dionysians?
It's up to you guys. I can run with it if you want to. I have no more, like, because you wanted to have a conversation with them about the Iconian base.
Yeah, just making.
Oh yeah.
Just letting them know what happened and saying we would like to keep a team there to keep an eye on it and protect it.
Right. Yeah. If you want to have that on screen, we can. It's not a hyper important moment to have, but we can do it.
If it's just going to be yes, great, sounds good, then I don't think we need to do it out. But if it's going to be an obstacle, then I would want to do it.
Yeah. No. It's mostly going to be like we don't have the resources to do it right now. But if you guys want to send somebody down, you're welcome to.
Then I don't.
They're a Federation allied world, so it's fine.
Okay.
I also, looking back at my notes, forgotten. I don't know if we need to do anything with this at the moment, but at Daphne's suggestion, we were also working on trying to activate the Iconian DNA in the other Dionysians to try and stop the virus from eating them alive.
Create a vaccine or a treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, that's where we're at with the roles that you'd have to do.
Okay.
Do we want to do that then before we do the meeting? Cover what's been happening during the rest of this stuff?
Sure, we can do that.
That would probably make sense. Yeah.
So do we want to have Daphne and Disavi do a small scene while they're talking or while they're working on it? We could also bring in
Dr. Sharath would also be assisting.
Okay. Should we back down on the planet then working on this? Well, yeah, I guess it makes more sense to do that than transport Dionysians up to the
You can clearly
ship.
go back and forth without any real difficulty. So.
Right.
All right.
So
first of all, let's bust the roll out of the way, then get into the role play. That way we know how the role play should go.
Right.
Sound good.
Reason and medicine with a focus in virology.
Right. Difficulty was 2. Where was my thing here? Oh, here we go. Difficulty is 3. Work is almost gone. That's almost done. Resistance was 2. So difficulty 2, resistance of 2.
Okay.
Sorry, difficulty of 3, resistance of 2. And then you guys had something, I think. Oh no, that was something else. That was elsewhere. So yeah, difficulty 3, resistance 2.
We initially brought down the Arrow Wing to act as a mobile lab that was giving us a bonus last time. I don't know if that's still there.
I don't see why it wouldn't.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah.
Disavi has chief of staff, which lets anybody who's assisting reroll reroll a die, an assist die. So she'll lead the assistance if Disavi wants to do the main role.
Yeah. You mean Daphne has chief of staff? Because I don't see that I have chief of staff.
Yeah, Daphne has chief. Isn't that
okay? You said Disavi, and I'm like, I don't remember that ability, but sure.
My bad. I didn't mean Daphne. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Yeah, no, I'm good with Daphne.
Hello?
You still there, Ev?
Oh no.
Evelyn has lost us.
In taking the lead, especially this was Daphne. Apparently, what the hell? I'm here, I promise. I
You're
can hear
back.
you.
Yep.
That was
Yeah.
weird. You came back and it caught up to you, and
I-
that was weird.
I was saying Dasavi should take the lead and that the fee
Okay.
helps with the assistance.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Would her ability still let her do rerolls?
It only applies when she's assisting. So.
Oh, when she's okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
All right.
Right.
So with the ship assistance, with with Eva on the task as well, you have a difficulty of 2.
Okay.
And the ship does assist, and this goes over here.
Yay. So that's
The ship does not assist.
Shit
The
does
ship
not
does-
assist.
The ship gets to re-roll.
There we go. I like it. If the ship assists
Yay.
less, I'll be very upset. All right.
No, the ship assists, and that will count as 2.
Nice. So that's 5. 2, 3. Yep.
Okay. So you succeed. So roll your work, which is the medicine skill.
Just
was
straight
the-
medicine.
What was the resistance?
Resistance is 2, which you can lower with your.
Yeah, we should definitely spend one of those on that.
So you have basically 3 momentum to spend. One of them could be used to lower that. Then you add. Let's see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 work.
Oh, add 2 more to that. Sorry,
Add 2 more dice or 2 more.
2 more.
Just-
2 more work dice. Because it's 2 plus. It's 2 plus the discipline.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Which adds 1
So-
more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Which is a. You also have 2 more. 2 more momentum to spend if you want to spend them on anything.
Okay.
Which- You probably just spend them on.
I think we should save it on momentum actually, because we already got 1 success, and I don't think another success is. We already got 1 breakthrough,
Yeah.
and I don't think extra momentum is going to get us anything. So
Yeah, no, I'm good with that.
Oh.
Gods know we need to bank that momentum.
Except it goes away at the end of the session anyway. So.
Shush.
Because well, at the end of the episode,
might be
whenever the
combat
episode
later.
ends. Yeah, whatever the episode ends. All right. So with that, you will manage to find.
We will manage to
Rona.
kill the GM.
Hang on.
I'm very glad we are not in that room.
COVID. Oh, here's the COVID for you guys.
All the COVIDs.
Is it
No,
actually
that's
COVID?
just allergies, really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I need to take a Zyrtec. It's that time of night. I take my allergy pills at night so I can sleep better. So with 5, you get a breakthrough. That actually counts as 2 breakthroughs because you'll have completed the work track, and
Yay.
you have essentially you have found a way to minimize. It's not a total cure, but to at least in certain cases, in many cases, either stop or reverse some of the damage of the mutagenic virus.
Okay.
Perfect.
It won't save everybody, but it will save a lot of people.
At least until the Delta mutagenic virus comes in.
Right.
Right.
Wear your mask, Dionysians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Don't
is
touch
being
your
a
face.
Star Trek PSA.
Yes. The Dionysians should not touch their face, wash their hands, wear a mask,
Maintain 6 feet.
6 feet,
Social distance.
and don't
Don't
set
go to
any,
spring break.
don't share any DNA between you
Right.
for a little while. So anyway,
Anyway,
yes, go ahead and role play out how you want to find your discovery.
I think we got it.
it's marvelous work, Dr. Onia.
Likewise, that was a fantastic idea. I was really more approaching the vaccine or cure from attacking from a point of changing DNA. That was brilliant.
Well, us the Nobulans haven't had the same.
All right, my apologies.
Haven't had the same.
We definitely
aversion
had
to
some
DNA
power
splicing as
failures and
humans.
some other issues in this episode and some upcoming
As
ones.
well.
Please bear with us. Thank you.
Dr. Taroth is, I'm so grateful that Starfleet was able to arrive. This is,
Nothing short of a miracle.